Hi, friends. I hope you're having a great day today. So, we've been talking a lot about blessings lately, right? And you've been hearing that word a lot and how you can be a blessing to others. Well, I want to talk about it just a little bit more because it's a really important thing for us to think about. God's blessing to us is kind of like a promise. It's a promise that our Creator accepts us just like we are and will be good to us and will always keep us in their care. Now, that doesn't mean that we're always going to have a perfect life or it's always going to be easy, because it won't. But what it does mean is that God will always be with us no matter what, and will always love us and always wants the best for us. So there's this story in the Bible, and there's a person named Abraham. And Abraham's story reminds us that God's blessing is not just meant to come to us and stay with us, but it's meant to flow through us and be spread out by us. It reads something like this: all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. So, just like God's forgiveness of us when we do something that's not very nice or when we do something that's not great, God's forgiveness of us allows us and leads us to forgive other people. Just like God's blessing and love for us allows us to bless and love other people. Through God's goodness to us, we can show goodness to the world. God created us just for that reason. We're not called just to live for ourselves, but rather to love God and to love one another. We shouldn't only care about what we want or what we need, but we really do need to be thinking about what people around us need. Here at King Avenue, we call that something, that practice of caring what everybody else needs and really accepting everyone, we call that radical hospitality. I know those words sound kind of big, but I promise you can say them, and this is what they mean. Radical hospitality means that we can do whatever we can, and we do accept people no matter what they look like, what their skin color is, where they come from, what their family looks like, how much money they have. We reach out because we care about other people and we want them to know God's love and we want them to be cared for and taken care of. That is radical hospitality, putting others before yourself. And you know what's cool? Blessing someone else by loving them and doing things for them is not just one-sided. When you bless someone else, you actually get something back in return. It's this awesome feeling of fulfillment and happiness that you have given love away just like God has given love to you. Love isn't love until you give it away and you give it to someone else. Try it and you will feel that really nice, warm, fuzzy feeling of happiness and contentment that you did something really great for someone else and shared God's love with them. Now, it's really hard sometimes to be a blessing, right? Sometimes we just aren't in the mood to care about anyone else, or we just, have other things that we want to be doing, and we just want to be thinking about our own cares or our own needs. Or sometimes we get really busy and we think, gosh, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to be a blessing to someone else. I don't have time to do things for other people. Well, you know what? I get that way too. And I think we all do. And what's really important is that we stop and we say, wow, God always has time for us. So we need to make sure that we remember it's not just a big, huge gesture of kindness that we need to do, or it's not something that's really expensive, or it's not even something that has to cost any money. Doing an act of kindness and being a blessing to someone else can be something really simple. It can be something that just shows someone else that you care about them. It can be a really kind word. It can be a little random act of kindness. It can be truly anything that just spreads the love of God to other people around you. So I have a couple ideas, and I wrote some down, so I'm just going to kind of read those to you. Here's a few ideas about how you can be a blessing to others, no matter how busy you are, or if you're kind of grumpy that day, because I promise it'll make you feel better if you do. So here's some ideas. Surprise someone with food. Bake somebody cookies. Or maybe you have some veggies left over in your garden, and you don't think you're going to eat them. Go ahead and give them to someone who might need them or just really likes fresh vegetables. That would be a really nice gesture. Surprise someone with help. Maybe your neighbor is raking leaves, and you can grab your rake and go over and say, hey, can I help you rake those leaves? Or maybe you just had supper and the dishes are all stacked up, and you can say, hey, I'd love to help do dishes with you. Another idea is to write a short or a funny poem and share it with someone who needs a good smile or a good laugh. How about if you write a prayer for someone and then give it to them? This will show them that you care about them and that you are praying for them. That'll really make their spirit feel filled up and their heart feel good. How about putting together a little care package for someone? Include things that they really like, or things that are important to you or special to you in your friendship with them. And then make sure you add a little note in there so that you can tell them how much you love and care about them. Why don't you call someone that you haven't talked to in a while and then just spend time catching up? That is called quality time. It's just like when you spend time with your family or other loved ones, just spending quality time together is important. Another thing that you can do is maybe you give some of your allowance to the church to help with fixing our beautiful stained glass windows that we have and making sure that we have a safe place and a safe building to worship and Sunday school to have every week. Those are a couple ideas of ways that you can be a blessing to others. When we show hospitality and we minister to God's love to other people with words of affirmation or acts of service or gifts, or even just by giving a hug or a fist bump to someone, we can also make sure that they know that we love them, and that is being a blessing to others too. Now, I wonder, how can you be a blessing to someone each day this week? And I also wonder, how can you minister to others at King Avenue Church, or at school, or in your neighborhood, or even at home? I wonder those things, and I want you to think about those things. So let's go ahead and take a minute to pray. Hey God, you love us every minute of every day. Help us to take your love and share it with others, just like you want us to do. Give us creative ideas about how we can spread your love that we have in our hearts to other people around us. Remind us that we can minister to others anywhere and anytime by loving others, by standing up for what's right, and by sharing our gifts and our talents. Be with us this week as we do our best to be a blessing to others. And all God's children said, Amen. Thanks, friends. I'll see you soon.